Your anxiety is stupid. It lies to you. It tricks you. It doesn't even make sense. And before this video's over, I'm going to prove it to you. That feeling in your chest, the racing thoughts, the cold dread that wakes you up at 3 a.m., it presents itself as a wise, cautious advisor, a guardian trying to protect you. But it's not. It's a con artist. A very convincing one, I'll grant you, but a con artist nonetheless. My name's Sam Carter, and I'm telling you this not as some guru from a mountaintop, but as a man who had to completely dismantle his own anxiety, piece by painful piece. This isn't theory I read in a book, it's the toolkit I was forced to build when my own mind turned against me. And the first, most important tool was realizing I was being lied to. But here's the biggest lie of all, the master deception that anxiety pulls on us. The biggest lie is that anxiety itself is the enemy. It's not. Anxiety isn't a bad thing. It's an important thing. It's a signal, a compass needle. Its only job is to point at what you care about. That jittery, nervous energy you feel before a first date with someone you're genuinely excited about, that's not a bad feeling. It's your entire nervous system screaming, "This matters, pay attention, don't screw this up." And that's good. It shows you're alive. It shows you have skin in the game. The real problem arises when that compass needle starts spinning wildly. When you feel anxious about a trivial email, about what a stranger in the grocery store thought of you, about a conversation you had 3 days ago. If you find yourself feeling anxious about 1,000 small, stupid things, it's not a sign that you're broken or weak. It's a sign that you lack one big, important thing in your life to focus that energy on. Your anxiety is like a guard dog. If you don't give it a house to protect, it will bark at leaves, at shadows, at the mailman. It needs a job. It craves a mission. Think of it this way. Imagine the thing that scares you most right now. Making that cold call, asking for that raise, public speaking. Now, imagine a doctor tells you that if you do that one scary thing right now, it will instantly and completely cure your mother's terminal cancer. How scary is it now? Is there even a question of whether you'd do it? Of course not. You'd trample over hot coals to do it. The fear doesn't vanish, but it becomes laughably irrelevant. Why? Because the importance of the mission completely eclipses the fear. Importance neutralizes fear. A lack of a central, important mission in your life leaves your fear unemployed and mischievous. It will find things to fixate on. So that's the first step, recognizing that the feeling itself isn't the problem. The misapplication of the feeling is. But that begs the question, how does it so consistently trick us into misapplying it? How does it make a small email feel like a life or death situation? It does this because your mind is a propaganda machine. I want you to imagine, deep in your brain, there's a press secretary. This isn't the press secretary for a president, it's the press secretary for the Ministry of Fear. Its only job is to justify the feelings that bubble up from your ancient primal lizard brain. When that lizard brain feels a flicker of fear, a shadow, a weird noise, an ambiguous text message, it sends a red alert to the press secretary. And that secretary, sweating under the lights of your consciousness, scrambles to a podium and starts spinning a story. "Ladies and gentlemen of the conscious mind," it announces breathlessly, "we have reason to believe that the slightly too long pause in your boss's reply is not in fact because he was busy. No, it is definitive proof that he hates your proposal, thinks you're an idiot, and is currently drafting your termination letter. This is a 5-alarm fire." The story is almost always a work of fiction, a horror story. But it feels true, because its only job is to make the feeling of fear seem rational. It works on two principles: exaggeration and justification. First, it exaggerates. It takes a small possibility and blows it up into a certainty. It convinces you that the worst-case scenario is the only scenario. It's a catastrophist. It doesn't deal in probabilities, it deals in doom. Second, it justifies. The human mind cannot stand a feeling without a story. We are narrative creatures. If we feel scared, we must have a reason. And if a good reason doesn't exist, our mind will invent one. It will write a Pulitzer-worthy drama to explain why your stomach is in knots. That co-worker who looked at you funny? The press secretary has a whole file on it, complete with backstory and sinister motives. The antidote to this propaganda is to become a better storyteller yourself. To take the horror story your mind is telling you and fact-check it. This is a tool the Stoics called negative visualization, and it is brutally effective. Don't just vaguely fear the worst-case scenario. Grab it, look it in the eyes, and plan for it. Let's take a common fear: public speaking. The propaganda machine is screaming, "You're gonna bomb, you'll be a laughingstock." Okay, let's play that tape all the way to the end. Let's not just fear it, let's script it. Step 1. You walk on stage. The lights are hot. You feel your heart pounding. Your mouth is dry. Step 2. The catastrophe. You forget your opening line. Total blank. The audience shuffles. A few people pull out their phones. Now the anxious mind stops there. That's the end of its horror movie. But you're going to keep writing. What happens next? Step 3. The recovery. You take a breath. You take a sip of water that you strategically placed on the lectern. You look at your first note card, which has your opening line written in huge letters. You smile and say, "Wow, it's bright up here. Let's try that again." New catastrophe. Your PowerPoint fails. The clicker isn't working. What happens next? You laugh. You say, "Well, so much for technology. Good thing I know this stuff by heart." And you start talking, using the slides in your head. You become more human, more relatable. The audience connects with you even more. You see the pattern? By walking through the worst case and planning your response, you take the catastrophe and turn it into a mere inconvenience. You replace a horror story with an action plan. You disarm the propaganda by proving that even the worst case is survivable, and often not even that bad. But what about that voice? The one that isn't about a future catastrophe, but a past one. The one that replays every social interaction, convinced you said the wrong thing, that everyone hates you, that you're fundamentally awkward and unlikable. That's not just anxiety. It's something else, and it has a name: codependence. And most of what we call social anxiety is secretly codependence in disguise. This isn't a social issue, it's a self-esteem issue. It's born from a fundamental belief that your worth is external. That your value as a person is determined by a jury of your peers, a jury that is constantly judging, and a jury that you must please at all costs. It comes from never learning to disappoint people, from never learning that no is a complete sentence. It's a worldview where your entire identity is built on the flimsy scaffolding of others' approval. So, of course, you're terrified in social situations. Every conversation is a high-stakes performance review. And isn't it funny? The same brain that you know is a terrible predictor of the future, if it were any good, you'd be a billionaire stock picker, you somehow trust to be 100% accurate when it predicts what other people are thinking about you. It's profoundly illogical. You accept that your anxiety lies about the future, but you believe it tells the absolute truth about the court of public opinion. This is the prison. But I'm here to give you the key. The key to breaking free from codependence and the fear of judgment is to embrace a single, liberating, beautiful truth. Nobody gives a shit. I mean that in the most loving way possible. The great, terrible, and ultimately freeing secret of the universe is that you don't matter that much. And once you truly accept that, you are free. This liberation begins with learning to say no. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex is a people pleaser. His friend, Mark, is a taker. Mark is constantly asking Alex for last-minute favors, knowing Alex will always say yes. And every time Mark calls, Alex's stomach clenches. He feels the dread, the resentment, followed by a tidal wave of guilt at the thought of saying no. His internal monologue is a storm. If I say no, he'll be mad. He'll think I'm a bad friend. Maybe I am a bad friend. I should just do it. It's easier to just do it. One day, Mark calls. He needs a ride to the airport. In an hour, during Alex's only free evening of the week. Alex feels the usual dread. His heart starts pounding. He opens his mouth to say, "Sure, what time?" But then something snaps. He thinks of the prison he's in, and with a voice that barely feels like his own, he says, "I'm sorry, Mark, I can't tonight." Silence on the other end of the line. Alex's mind is screaming. But then, one of two things happens. Scenario 1, Mark gets pissed. "What do you mean you can't?" "I'm counting on you. Some friend you are." The mask slips. Mark isn't a friend. He's a user. And by saying no, Alex has exposed him. Mark leaves Alex's life. And Alex, after the initial sting, feels a lightness he hasn't felt in years. He didn't lose a friend. He removed a parasite. He wins. Scenario 2. Mark is surprised, but says, "Oh, okay, no worries, man. I'll figure something else out. Thanks anyway." In that moment, Alex's respect for Mark grows. But more importantly, Mark's respect for Alex grows. Alex has just taught Mark that his time is valuable. Their friendship, if it's real, just got stronger. He wins. In either situation, you win. When you start saying no, a great sorting happens. The people who were just using you get angry and leave. The people who genuinely care about you respect you more. This is the win-win of authenticity. And it's all built on that realization. Everyone else is the main character in their own movie. You are at best a supporting character. More likely, you're just an extra in the background of their scene. They are so consumed with their own anxieties, their own insecurities, their own main character drama, that they don't have the time or the energy to obsess over your performance. That thing you said that you've been replaying in your head for 3 weeks, they forgot it happened 30 seconds after you said it. Your big drama is just background noise to them. There is a profound freedom in this, in realizing that most of what you say and do will not have major, lasting repercussions. You can try things and fail. You can be a little awkward. You can say no, because who gives a shit? So, I want to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you obsessed over that you now realize didn't matter at all? Now, we've been deep in the mind, in the philosophy, but we're ignoring the machine that runs it all, your body. And here's the part where I'm going to sound like your grandmother, but I need you to listen. A huge portion of your anxiety isn't psychological, it's physiological. You are not a brain in a vat, you are a biological creature. And if your biology is out of whack, your psychology will be too. I know you're tired of hearing it. I know it sounds cliché, but it is a fundamental truth. Are you sleeping? I mean, are you really getting 7-8 hours of quality sleep? Or are you doom scrolling until 1 a.m.? That blue light from your screen is scientifically proven to raise cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. You are literally injecting stress into your eyeballs before you try to sleep. Are you moving your body? Exercise isn't about getting a six-pack. It's one of the most potent anti-anxiety medications on the planet, and it's free. It burns off cortisol and adrenaline and releases endorphins. Going for a walk in nature, the green effect, is a proven relaxant. What are you eating? Is your diet 90% caffeine, sugar, and processed garbage? You're giving your body a stress signal with every bite. Drink less caffeine, eat more vegetables, drink more water. It's the most boring advice in the world, and it's also the most powerful. And get off your screens. Social media, in particular, is an anxiety factory. It feeds you a diet of fucked up, unfair comparisons. You're comparing your entire, messy, behind-the-scenes reality, your doubts, your failures, your boring Tuesday afternoons, to someone else's curated highlight reel. You see Bill Gates' net worth, but you don't see the 30 years he spent building Microsoft, reportedly without a single vacation. It's a rigged game designed to make you feel inadequate. If you're ever feeling that acute, in-the-moment panic, I want you to do one thing. Breathe. But breathe with purpose. Use the 4-7-8 technique. It's simple. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. This is not woo-woo nonsense. This is a direct hack into your autonomic nervous system. It forces your body out of the fight-or-flight sympathetic state and into the rest and digest parasympathetic state. You are manually telling your body that the threat is gone. Fix your body. It's the vessel for your mind. You can't have a calm mind in an agitated body. So let's bring this all together. We know anxiety is a liar. We know it points to importance. We know it builds propaganda. We know it's often codependence in disguise. And we know it's deeply tied to our physical health. The final step is to change your relationship to it, to stop being its slave and become its master. Research on high performers, athletes, artists, CEOs is fascinating. It shows they don't experience less anxiety than the average person. In some cases, they experience more. The difference is their orientation to it. They don't see anxiety as a signal to retreat, to hide, to give up. They see it as a signal to be present. They've reframed it as energy. It's the go time signal. It's the body focusing its resources, getting ready for a challenge. They've learned to ride the wave, not be crushed by it. History is filled with examples of this. Winston Churchill, who led Britain through its darkest hour, suffered from what he called his black dog, crippling depression and anxiety. Abraham Lincoln, by many accounts, was a profoundly melancholic and anxious man. They didn't cure their anxiety, they channeled it. They built rigid routines, systems, and a sense of purpose so immense that their personal fears were put in service of that mission. They used their anxious energy to work, to write, to lead. They became the masters, not the slaves. And if ever you find yourself trapped again, lost in a storm of trivial worries, I want you to use this final tool. It's the ultimate perspective shift. I call it the deathbed test. I want you to close your eyes. Imagine yourself at age 90 or 100. You're in a comfortable bed. You're warm. You are surrounded by the people you loved and who loved you. You've lived a full, rich, complex life. You have memories of great joy and deep sorrow. You have loved, you have lost, you have learned. You are at the end. Now, from that vantage point, from that final and most honest perspective, look back at today. Look back at the thing that is consuming you with anxiety right now. That email, that awkward conversation, that fear of what they might think. From your deathbed, how much does it matter? From that height, you see it for what it is. A blip, a speck of dust on the vast, beautiful canvas of your one precious life. And you'll realize you don't have time to waste on stupid anxieties. Look, content like this that aims to genuinely challenge you is my entire purpose here. If you got value from it, the single best way to show it is to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. It's the only way I know this is actually connecting. Finally, let's be honest. Brutally honest content isn't always popular. It could get taken down. So if this resonated, save it and share it with one person who needs to hear it.